Hi you guys, so it's me Leah and I'm ready to jump right into this video. I have been dying to give myself a facial and that is where this video will be beginning. Go ahead and sit tight, grab something to eat, something to drink, and we're going to talk about tapping into our feminine energy. Now this is not going to be one of those generic videos where it's going to give you all these things that I don't practice myself. I'm going to share some things that I practice myself and sometimes realistically I struggle with, but putting my best foot forward every single day. The best recommendation that I could give anyone who is wanting to tap into that feminine energy, really get to know themselves more, because this is a journey. This thing called life is truly a journey. I'm not going to go through the products that I'm using, but everything will be listed down below in the description, every single item. So tapping into this feminine energy, the first tip that I want to give is to slow down. I know it's hard. It's hard. It really is. And that is something, like I said before, that I struggle with myself. It is something that you really have to nurture and practice every single day, as I mentioned, because it's easy to just put yourself on the back burner and be like, oh, if it's something that isn't necessarily what you feel like is essential or priorities first. Sometimes we can lose ourselves in the day-to-day madness. By the time that we really catch on to what we need or what we feel like we're lacking, it feels like a headache to try to implement these things in our life. And when I mean slowing down, I'm saying whether it can be a morning routine implement, an afternoon routine implement, or even an evening routine where you're implementing something where you're like, okay, I'm gonna do better at my evening routine, before I just jump into bed and get to scrolling. Really giving back to yourself and giving yourself maybe some things that you have been lacking or been wanting to do, but you just quite haven't had the time to do so. I'm trying my best to keep my microphone from getting wet, but I might need to move it, honestly. I have really been wanting to give myself this facial. I know I'm mentioning it for probably like the second or third or maybe even the fourth time. You know when your skin is just like, help me, help me, help me. That is what has been going on with my skin. I'm like, oh my goodness. It is really time. It's past time. But here I am, look at me doing it. And I really have been wanting to get back into creating long form YouTube content. Honestly, it feels like I haven't quite figured out where my content is going next. So that's why I'm like, okay, let me just kind of stay away from that and just do like the YouTube shorts. Mine are actually doing a lot better than my long form content at this time. And I think it's because the vertical short form content is just where it is right now for most content creators. I don't know. I have to figure that out. The number one thing is being more consistent with uploading to see what content, moves and what doesn't. Another tip for tapping into that feminine energy is going to be trying to eat cleaner. Now, this is something where you're like, what does that have to do with anything? And it's because our mind, body, and spirit are all very much connected. I'm not going to go too much into like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Because once again, I like to mention things that I'm actually actively practicing myself. I'm not too religious, so I won't go into anything about that. When it comes to eating cleaner, this is going to lead and follow right into another tip of mine, which is staying active. Now, if y'all follow me on any other platforms, you know that I like to run and I go to the gym from time to time. Sometimes I've been a lot more consistent than other times, but the bottom line is I enjoy working out. I already know running is not everybody's forte. That so is not. And it's difficult to try to encourage somebody who is not a runner to want to run. But it really does help so much. And movement is medicine. And this follows literally right into my next one. But before that, movement is medicine. Like, whether you want to admit that or not, really clear indicator of how much a person moves and how it reflects in their health is the older that we get. We can look right at our family members or friends of family members who are older, and you can tell like those who move more are they're just more agile. They're a whole lot more, sometimes happier, sometimes they're healthier as well. You know, you got to realize once we start aging, that movement is so much more vital to our health, physically and mental health. And it can help shape, you know, your intentions every single day. Because if you have that discipline to go to the gym, to take a walk around in the neighborhood, to walk the dog, to walk with your children if you have them, to walk with your partner or solo, I can't tell you how awesome, refreshing it is to go for a walk, a solo walk, and not even listen to music sometimes. Just be so grounded and in tune with, you know, the elements, what's going on around you. Sometimes, yes, hearing the traffic, if your walking trail is along a road or whatever the case may be, opening yourself up to the universe and being present in the moment. It is so, so, so important. Another tip I would like to share is reshaping your mindset. And what I mean is by changing your intentions and the outlook of how you view literally every day. I know I mentioned that, you know, these days have been heavy, especially if you're an American. If you know, you know, we all know. We all are living in the same, you know, world at this point. Or most of us are. So it's heavy. Every day is a headliner and it's not great news. But not letting that deter you from what you still are putting into yourself and accepting from the universe and what you're putting out to the universe to receive in return. Something that I like to mention to family mostly is that being happy is a choice, and choosing to be happy is something that you have to decide every single day when you wake up, because there are so many things surrounding us where we could succumb to them. Sometimes we do, but sometimes, you know, you have to snap out of it and get back to reality. And that means putting yourself first, choosing to be happy, and making the best out of each and every situation and opportunity. And like I said, it is a challenge sometimes. And I know that some people are like very apprehensive about, okay, so how do I think this way? How do I think positive? How am I supposed to do this? But that is so negative, because instead of choosing and deciding to be in a certain mindset, and or at least practicing it, you're still questioning why you're going to do it. Why is it going to do this? You know what I'm saying? It's just much more of a negative outlook instead of like completely erasing that and deciding to practice happiness and optimism and hope in every single aspect of your life.